Hello and welcome to the program. This edition of Newsroom series covering Nigeria's Northeast. I am Bukola Koka. First, the day's top story. Disturbed by reports that the Nigeria police on Friday rearrested human rights activist and former presidential candidate of the African Action Congress AAC, Mr. Omoyele Sowore, the police headquarters has categorically denied rearresting him after he was granted bail. This reaction comes today, less than 24 hours after the news broke about his rearrest. Meanwhile, Mr. Sowore, along with Prince Emmanuel Kanu, brother of the detained leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, a former member of Kanu's legal team, Aloy Ejimako, and 10 others, had earlier been granted bail after meeting the bail conditions of 500,000 naira with 2 sureties residing in the FCT and with valid means of identification and 3 years tax clearance. The Force Public Relations Officer, CSP Benjamin Hundeyi, dismissed the claims as false, explaining that if the activist was rearrested, he would not have been taken directly to prison. The Adamawa State Governor, Umaru Fintiri, says the state government is expanding collaboration with the World Bank and other national and international partners to drastically reduce the rate of out-of-school children and make education functional. He stated this in his office in Yola, the state capital, while receiving the World Bank implementation support teams for the Global Partnership for Education, GPE, who are in the state for an assessment visit of GPE projects.
The World Bank Implementation Support Mission for the Global Partnership for Education, GPE, is in Yola, the Adamawa state capital, to assess ongoing implementation of the Better Education Service Delivery for All BESDA program in Adamawa, Oyo, and Katsina states with just 12 months to its completion date. Team leader of the BESDA, Shin Nomura, commends the state for its strong performance in school construction, teacher training and community engagement, and overall effective state-level coordination.
This is the year 3, and we have project extension for 1 more year. So it's closing in October 2026. And there are some activities still to be conducted, but we have observed that a good progress has been made in, I have only visited Adamawa, so at least in Adamawa, we have some, progress made. We have observed the schools are constructed in case of shelling and in Jada, and teachers, we had a conversation with the teachers, but they have tablets, and that they are going through the training program for using the tablets for structural pedagogical.
It's a commendation. The governor does not take lightly, describing it as an affirmation that his administration is working tirelessly to ensure effective implementation with strict adherence to transparency, accountability, and inclusiveness. He pledges continued collaboration with the World Bank to drive sustainable educational development across the state.
I want to assure you that it is a partnership that works. We are not here at the subnational to subvert any program that the bank will bring to us. This is a different set of governors that are really down to earth to ensure that whatever comes in is really judiciously utilized for the benefit of our people.
Stakeholders in the education sector met earlier to assess areas of successes and what needs improvement.
The team is here with the World Bank team, joint team with the federal government, UBEC, the World Bank team, and all the state SUBEC chairs, and to visit Adamawa State and be able to see the performance of the funds so far.
It's a grant of $125 million across the Oak State. For now, we worked for 2-3 years, and because of restructuring of the program, is now with UBEC.
The World Bank-supported education program comes with a grant of $127 million to increase equitable access to basic education, improve literacy, and strengthen accountability.
A more on development, over 600 female students in Adamawa State have benefited from a personal hygiene and motivational program designed to inspire the girl child and enable her achieve her full potential. The program, which was flagged off at the Girls' Secondary and Primary School Sanda in Yola, the state capital, is part of activities aimed at promoting the education of the girl child. Our correspondent reports that sanitary kits were distributed to female teenage students to enhance their personal hygiene while in school. As in other states in Nigeria's northeast region, the education of the girl child in Adamawa has suffered setbacks due to socio-cultural, religious beliefs and the impact of insurgency. The rate of enrollment of the boy child in schools remains higher than that of the girl child in certain areas.
Not mature female.
And against this backdrop, the Adamawa State Commissioner for Education and Human Capital Development, Mr. Garba Umar Pella, says the state government is determined to change this narrative through incentives for the girl child.
You know, boys and girls have different physiological makeup. And especially for the adolescent girls, as they reach that age of adolescence, it comes with a lot of challenges of menstruation, of a lot of the need for proper hygiene and sanitation and rest. So the government is deliberate about that, ensuring that we provide the necessary dignity kits, support them and make them remain in school.
As part of ongoing efforts to encourage girl child education, this event, which holds at Sanda Girls Secondary School in Yola, the Adamawa State capital, features motivational talks and lessons on personal hygiene to inspire female students and help them realize their dreams.
Surround yourself with people that uplift you. Surround yourself with people that encourage you. You can say today, I want to start this small business, or I want to sell this thing. Then your friend will be telling you, keep dreaming, or it's not going to happen. Know that, run away. Are you hearing me? Run away. I told you now, your mindset is important. Secondly, your friends.
The vice principal of Sanda Girls Secondary School, Mrs. Hawa Datijo Ali, describes the program as timely.
They lecture our students on how to take care of themselves. It's a girl child program, and we appreciate it very much because all our students are getting sanitary pads.
Meanwhile, in other parts of Adamawa State, more victims of the recent flood disaster in Yola and environs have benefited from relief materials distributed by some development partners.
I wanted to give back to...
The materials, consisting of food and non-food items, are to cushion the impact of the flood in affected communities.
At least it will reduce the tension and everything. You know, to even buy food is something else, but this will go a long way, and we really appreciate her for that rate.
While these interventions are welcome, residents in these vulnerable communities look forward to more enduring mitigation projects that will defend their communities against the adverse effects of climate change. The Yobe state government has recorded significant progress in the 2025-2026 basic school enrollment across the state after Governor Mai Mala Buni embarked on the mass construction of model and mega schools. The Executive Chairman, State Universal Basic Education Board, SUBEB, Mr. Umaru Hassan Babayu, who spoke in an interview with Channels Television in Damaturu, the state capital, explained that the number of out-of-school children is reducing drastically.
Since the administration of Governor Mai Mala Buni came on board, different policies and programs geared towards revitalizing the education sector have been given priority. The government has successfully constructed several model and mega schools and is supplying boarding schools with 3 meals, and this is gradually increasing school enrollment, especially at the primary and basic levels.
We are all aware that Yobe State is always classified as one of the states that is actually at the lower rung of the ladder when it comes to either enrollment or any other issue that have to do with education. So enrollment was actually enrollment of pupils in schools was given all the priority attention it deserved. The most important one has to do with the actual employment or recruitment of qualified teachers that should actually actualize the initiative of the emergency sector.
Several individuals and organizations are also heeding the state's call to support school enrollment drive, some of which come with financial support and learning materials for out-of-school children.
Yobe is one of the states that was, harmed by insurgent activities. So educationally, we are lagging behind. So at the foundation, we decided that let us look at what is most important, what people most needed at this very critical time. So we decided to look at the importance of this, time. And as you can see, we are at the beginning of the session where everybody is enrolling their children. So we decided to go on this, enrollment program.
I want to actually use this ample opportunity to commend the founder of this charity foundation for reaching down and lifting our children up, because whoever supports children with education, he really means well for their life. So we can't do without education, and I really commend him for that.
The target is to get as many children as possible back to school to fill classrooms of the primary and basic secondary schools across the 17 local government areas of Yobe State.
The Nigeria Bar Association has commended Governor Inuwa Yahaya for rolling out 2 mega projects aimed at enhancing quick dispensation of justice in the state. The chairman, Gombe State chapter of the NBA, Barrister Al-Hassan Muazu, gave the commendation after inspecting a completed Sharia Court of Appeal building and an ongoing High Court complex project at the 3 Arms Zone in Gombe State.
The Gombe State Judiciary Complex is undergoing change as the state government completes infrastructure to provide conducive working spaces for the judiciary. The state chapter of the Nigerian Bar Association, in keeping with its mandate of ensuring the welfare of legal officers, is inspecting 2 of the projects within the 3 Arms Zone. The delegation visited the completed Sharia Court of Appeal building and the ongoing State High Court complex project.
Most important, office accommodation for honorable judges is very more important. We have gone there, we have much more than enough here, because we have more than a number of caddies that are in existence. We have offices that are meant for incoming judicial officers to serve as a caddies in the future time. It has been taken care. You have seen the offices as there. You have seen the offices has been furnished. Secondly, the office of the chief registrar is very much important.
After touring the projects, the NBA team is impressed with the projects.
He has started by providing top court hall for the Gombe State High Court. It's still ongoing. And it's not only the court halls. There are a lot of offices, being built by this administration that will accommodate both the legal assistants, the other staff, the chief registrar, directors, and all other, staffs working with the Gombe State judiciary. And that, I think, is commendable, and that we have to, show our appreciation to the current administration for doing what they are doing, for being focused, for being, visionary, to see the future. And I believe with these offices, including the Sharia Court of Appeal edifice, is going to help a lot in, let me say, reducing the number of days of delivering justice to the common man.
While restating commitments to the welfare of legal practitioners, the NBA commends the state government's vision for the judiciary, stating that the project will facilitate quick dispensation of justice in Gombe State.
With the steady rise in citizen journalism and consequent proliferation of disinformation and misinformation, the Agro-Climatic Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRISL, is now turning to journalists in Gombe State for professional and factual storytelling on climate change. The project coordinator for Gombe State ACRISL, Dr. Sani Jauru, while mulling over a reward and award system for factual storytelling on climate change, says the renewed handshake between ACRISL and the Nigeria Union of Journalists is aimed at scaling up climate change education, possibly among the entire 4 million residents of Gombe State.
In the last 3 years, the Agro-Climate Resilience in Semi-Arid Landscapes, ACRISL, has become a household name in the 144 wards and 11 local government areas of Gombe State, majorly owing to its myriad life-saving interventions and media visibility. To scale up awareness on the effects of climate change, the World Bank-assisted initiative is working with various NGOs in Gombe State to build capacity of 100 journalists on the importance of information dissemination with regards to climate change and how such reportage can affect communities.
We want to see how we can leave behind a mark in the sand of history in terms of changing the narrative of that gap of lack of training in terms of environmental reportage. We want to see how we can expose all members of the media that we are working with to all the ethics of reportage under the environmental component of our own work.
In the era of misinformation and disinformation, this training is a thank you from ACRISL to journalists in Gombe State for ensuring factual and efficient storytelling on climate change.
The media has a key role to play in terms of reaching out to the community to get them involved, to be part of the implementation itself, so that at the end of the day, when the chips are down, when ACRISL would have, phased out, the communities can take ownership of the investments.
Participating journalists are confident that the capacity building workshop would help them see different perspectives when reporting climate change and at the same time give them an avenue to educate locals.
Training is very, very important, and by organizing this training, capacity building by the ACRISL is timely, and I believe it will help the working journalists of Gombe State to do their work, professional work, effectively.
As journalists, we stand between, the ACRISL and the community, and it is good that we get the right information, because the people depend on journalists to get, feedback from these organizations, because ACRISL cannot just go to the community, even though they have to work with community-based, organizations, and we are part of the critical stakeholder. So it is right that we have the right information so that we'll be able to disseminate these issues properly.
Organizers say this workshop is important to ACRISL's work of supporting livelihoods of residents, saving households on the brink of collapse, and reclaiming land from gullies in Gombe State.
And still in the northeast, wife of the Borno State Governor, Mrs. Falmata Umara Zulum, has said there will be no excuse for any child to miss out on vaccination in the state, including those living in internally displaced camps. Mrs. Zulum, who disclosed this in Maiduguri while flagging off the integrated measles rubella vaccination, said the state government, in collaboration with partners, have provided 6 healthcare interventions that would be administered on all eligible children.
Borno State in northeastern Nigeria is one of the states with the highest polio burdens in the country, made worse by the armed conflict which resulted in displacement of many children without access to health care services. The state government is working to reduce the numbers through partnerships with development agencies to give eligible children the measles rubella vaccination across the 27 local government areas of the state.
The various vaccines that are going to be administered are free, safe, and effective. Immunization saves life and protects the future of our children and communities.
This campaign adopts a multi-pronged approach, Your Excellency, by integrating additional life-saving interventions, which include routine immunization, polio vaccination, and human papillomavirus vaccination to protect adolescent girls from cervical cancer.
Shortly before the flag-off, the wife of the governor, Falmata Umara Zulum, appealed to parents to allow their wards get vaccinated, as the vaccines are proven to be safe and it's free.
The state government has remained fully committed to rebuilding the health system, improving maternal and child health, and ensuring that no community and no child is left behind. To our mothers and caregivers, I speak to you as a mother myself. Please take your children to the nearest vaccination post.
The acting UNICEF chief of Maiduguri Field Office, among other partners, pledged to work alongside the Borno State government in providing technical and logistic support.
UNICEF is honored to collaborate with the governments of Nigeria and Borno State on this acceleration initiative. Our collaboration encompasses technical and logistic support for vaccine delivery, social mobilization, and communication. It is grounded in evidence, trust, and a shared commitment to reaching the most vulnerable children across the states.
The exercise, which will last for 10 days, is designed to provide 6 healthcare interventions across the state.
The Nigeria Medical Association Taraba State Chapter is asking the state government to, as a matter of urgency, address issues relating to inadequate infrastructure, delayed remuneration, and unsafe working conditions if it is indeed serious about addressing the challenge of brain drain in the state's health sector. Chairman NMA Taraba State, Dr. Adamawa, made this disclosure during a media briefing with journalists to mark this year's Physicians' Week.
Permit me to ground this reflection with some few sobering statistics. Number 1, the health expenditure in Nigeria remains around 4.08% of GDP, far below the global average and the Abuja Declaration target. Number 2, the healthy life expectancy at birth stands at approximately 55 years. Number 3, the health worker density is about 1.83 per 1,000 population, which is less than half of the WHO minimum recommendation. Nigeria's maternal mortality ratio continues to hover above 1,000 deaths per 100,000 live births, among the highest globally. Up to 80% of deaths in rural communities are linked to weakness in primary healthcare systems. These numbers are not just data points. They are a reflection of life lost. Too many of our primary healthcare centers operate without basic equipments, essential medicines, or functioning referral system. And therefore, to fix this, we must strengthen integrated referral system linking the primary healthcare centers, secondary and the tertiary facilities.
The Bauchi State Governor, Bala Mohammed, has appointed new emirs to the recently created emirates on both first and second-class status. Our correspondent, Hajara Aliyu, reports that ceremonies were held across the new palaces to mark the new appointments.
Less than a week after Governor Bala Mohammed signed the law creating 13 new emirates and 1 chiefdom, the Bauchi State Government has approved the appointment of 11 new emirs based on recommendations from the Local Government Service Commission.
Bisa ga
3 of the new emirs, those of Duguri, Gamawa and Dambam, were appointed as first-class emirs, while the remaining 8 were placed in the second-class category. The secretary to the state government leads a delegation of senior officials to present the appointment letters to the new emirs. The emir of Ari, Muhammad Kilishi Musa, a second-class emir, formerly a district head, was the first to receive his letter. Overcome with emotions, he prostrates to glorify God before being formally turbaned. The delegation then proceeds to the other newly created emirates where similar ceremonies took place. The SSG urges the traditional rulers to support the governor's administration and offer constructive advice for the development of their communities.
The governor expresses hope that this traditional title conferred on you will promote peace, unity, and bring the people closer to the government. We thank the governor and pledge our loyalty to him, assuring him that we will not disappoint.
In Giae, a large crowd gather outside the palace to celebrate the historic event. In Duguri, the governor's hometown, Adamu Muhammad, a brother to Governor Bala Muhammad, is being elevated from a district head to a first-class emir.
If the governor had not performed well, we would have been hiding our faces in shame, and people would have mocked us. But he has done well, and we have a responsibility as emirs to continue advising him in order to sustain peace and security.
Meanwhile, the process of selecting the emirs of Darezu, Lere, and Gungzar is still ongoing. Hajira Aliyu, Channels Television News.
And that's it on the program, this edition that covers Nigeria's Northeast. We'll be back again next week, bringing you more reports from across the country. I am Bukola Koka. Bye for now.